Today I'm going to do a makeup that is going to be very summery, fresh, corally. I recently bought two lipsticks from Charlotte Tilbury, and I want to use those two new ones to create this summery look. Corals are something that are very beautiful during the summertime, and I am obsessed with a lot of corals in my collection at this moment, and that's why I'm doing this look today. So I'm moisturizing. I've already moisturized, but I'm reapplying my sunscreen and starting with a concealer. This is by L'Oreal. It is their Infallible concealer. I'm using the shade Amber. This is a tad bit darker than my actual skin tone, but I'm using this to color correct the darkness under my eyes. It works pretty well for color correction. And you can see that I took a little on the back of my hand. I'm using a concealer brush to apply where, like, wherever I need. I'm not overdoing it. I'm not using too much all over my face. I'm just spot correcting where I absolutely need some concealer. And I have a mark on my forehead, so I'm just using a little there. And wherever I see small spots or blemishes, I am only targeting it in those areas. Once you have placed your concealer, let that sit for some time, because that's how you will get the fullest coverage that the concealer promises. So you must be wondering, while you see ads and these reels and videos, how come people get so much of coverage just by putting a little bit of concealer? That's because they don't tell you that they wait for some time and they don't immediately blend the concealer right after placing it. You can use this time to do your brows, like I'm doing here right now. I'm using this precise brow pencil by Mars. This is called O-Brow, and it is such a cheap alternative to Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. And it also has a spoolie on the other hand, which makes the blending of this pencil very, very easy. You don't have to buy a spoolie separately, and it gives very feather like, easy to do. It's very easy to manage this kind of a pencil, because with just a little amount of pressure you get the absolute, precise amount of hair strokes, and it doesn't look too blocky. Your eyebrows don't look too blocky, and gives a very nice fluffy eyebrow look. And now that I'm done with my eyebrows, I can now come back to my concealer and start blending it. So you can see I'm using a small concealer brush because I want to focus on blending the concealer where I placed it. Okay, so I'm not going to use a fat brush, because that is going to move the concealer too much around, and I don't want that. I want to pat in the concealer wherever I need to blend it, and that's how I get the maximum impact of the coverage that I'm looking for. You can see, for my other eye which I completed, you can see the difference it created. It already, the darkness is almost gone, and now my skin is ready for some color. You can go ahead now and add some blush, some bronzer, contour, whatever you want to. Today I am not adding any bronzer or contour, because the focus of my look is the lip, and it's a very fresh, summery, corally, orangey toned lip, and that's why I didn't want to, overdo my face, kept it simple. And also that's one of the reasons why I skipped a foundation, because I wanted to keep the skin looking fresh, not overly done. And you can see how seamlessly this concealer blends in. Doesn't look, it doesn't look artificial, because it just looks like second skin. Okay, so if you haven't tried this concealer, this is one of the best drugstore concealers. It gives so high impact coverage. If you wait, if you instantly blend it right after applying, you will get coverage still, but not as much. So the only downside of this concealer is that there are only a four or five shades. As I know, I don't know if they've added more, but a few months back they only had 4 to 5 shades. And I also have a short video on my channel swatching all those shades that I have. For the eyes, I'm using this LAMEL Mad Eyes liquid eyeshadow. Liquid eyeshadows are so convenient for those of you who don't have the time to blend eyeshadows, don't have the patience to use different brushes for different colors, blend, create looks. This is a one and done eyeshadow. So if you, there are a few colors. There is, I remember seeing a lavender, a maroon in this, so you can pick whatever color suits you. There are a lot of other brands who are creating these liquid eyeshadows. I find them so easy, especially if you are in a rush and you know what you're doing. You can see I blended it a little with the finger, and now on this side I'm just placing it a little tiny amount on my eye and immediately blending it with my brush. These tend to dry fast, so the work time is quite less. So the moment you put it on your lids, you need to quickly blend it in and blend it outwards towards your crease so that you get a gradient like effect. So that's the only shadow that I'm going to use on my eyelids today. And another eye product that I'm using today is a brown kajal pencil. You could switch that brown kajal pencil with any other color of your choice. You can, you need to understand that the color choice is absolutely yours. The technique is what I'm showing you here. So for this look, since I'm doing a coral eyes, I want to do a warm toned eye. That's why I am going for brown tones. I'm using this kajal just under my lower lash line. Okay, I'm not coloring my waterline because I feel for my eyes specifically, doing the waterline shrinks, makes my eyes look a little more closed, and I want my eyes to look wide open. So I am coloring a little bit just underneath my lower lash line and blending it, making it softening it with a flat eyeshadow brush. You could use a pencil brush. You could also use a q-tip. If you don't have these kind of brushes, it's all right. You can use a q-tip, you can use your fingers, anything that you're comfortable with. And I'm doing the same on my upper lash line. Okay, I'm doing a rough line very close to my lash line, and I'm taking a small um, eyeshadow brush and blending that in so that you don't see the harsh line. It's all blended and it looks like a gradient effect where the color is in the most intense near the lashes, and then it slowly goes up and blends into the crease. So that's the look, and that's it for the eyes. I'm just going to finish it up with mascara in the end. And now is the time for some reverse contour to add some highlights. Since I'm not adding bronzer or contour, it's important to bring back my features by doing reverse contour or adding some highlight points on my face so that my face looks lit, fresh, and radiant. Okay, because the colors that I'm using here today is going to be very, very warm, bold, and radiant. So I want my skin to shine bright and look radiant. This is the color in the shade Vanilla by L'Oreal, in the same range, Infallible concealers. And I'm using in the same areas, but this time it's not for color correction, but the intention is to brighten. So you can see this color is slightly lighter, one shade lighter than my natural skin tone. So when you are highlighting, you need to take a concealer that is 1 or 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. But before that, you need to make sure that you color correct, or else it may look ashy, muddy, and it's not going to give you a natural glowy look. Okay, so if I had put this lighter concealer before the darker one and skipped the darker concealer, my skin would have looked much more, you know, it would have definitely looked ashy, because that's how color theory works. If you put a light color on a dark one, instantly it is going to make you look muddy. While if you gradually build the color, like use a darker color over a scar or a blemish and then go light gradually, it's going to conceal very beautifully without making it look muddy or ashy. So you can see my face is looking evenly covered. All the scars and blemishes and darknesses are covered. And now I'm moving in with a blush, and I'm using a liquid blush by e.l.f. This is a very bold coral color blush, and I'm so excited to use this. I'm taking it on the back of my hand and using a soft synthetic brush to pick up the product and put it on the apples of my cheek. Okay, a little bit on the bridge of my nose, apples of my cheek, and whatever after these three areas, whatever is left, I'm using just a tad bit on my forehead and my chin, because when you are naturally flushed and out in the sun, you will catch color on all these areas: the bridge of your nose, the apples of your cheeks, the forehead, your temples, and your chin. So that's how you mimic the natural sun kissed look using a blush. And this is such a beautiful, gorgeous blush to use for the summertime, and I absolutely love the pigmentation of this. I just took a dot of that blush, and it looked so pigmented, but it easily blended out without any patchiness. I'm removing the lip oil that I had on my lips, and it has tinted my lips a bit. But I'm going to use a lip liner by MAC, and it is called Chicory. And this is a very warm toned brownie orangey lip color, which is going to match well with the color that I'm going on as my lipstick color. So chicory is it's kind of you can call it in the family of red, but it's a muted red. Okay, it has a hint of brown in it, it has a hint of orange in it, and it's not as a bright red, so it is corally color. And to use with your coral lipsticks, this is a very good lip pencil option. And the color is very unique, and I absolutely love the texture of MAC lip liners. There's something about it, it makes me feel so nostalgic, because the one of my first lip liners was from MAC, and I absolutely love the authentic wooden lip liner pencils. The lipstick for today is by Charlotte Tilbury in the color Hot Emily, and this is a very bright, um, warm coral color. Okay, look at the color, it's so beautiful, it's perfect for spring summer. It's going to look absolutely stunning on deeper skin tones as well. If you are bold enough to pull it off alone, you can do that too with a very nice bronzed skin look. I can also do a look like that, a very nice bronzed skin with this lipstick alone. It's going to look so stunning and gorgeous. I'm blotting out the lipstick so that I can fade that out, because I'm going in for a lighter tone. I'm going to mix in another shade by Charlotte Tilbury, and it is called Kim KW. And this is a very pale nude, and I'm just dabbing it a little in the center so that I can contour my lips, and blending it into the color Hot Emily. So you can see it is creating a very salmony kind of a color. And I'm also using a soft brush. It's not a lip brush, it's an eyeshadow brush, but I use it to blend my lipsticks if I'm creating complex lip color combinations. And I'm just dabbing that color on my lips and building it up slowly, so that it's all absorbed and nothing is sitting on top of my lips. So you can see I'm slowly building the color up, and I'm going to layer it a few times just to get the intensity of the color that I'm looking for, blotting in between, brushing it, and then adding the next layer of color is how you achieve this look. It depends on how pigmented your lips are. You If you have pigmented lips, what you can do is you can use a concealer first, and then you can go about and use this lip combination, because this is a very light color. So it's important to conceal the pigmentation of your lips, otherwise it'll show through. And the formulation of these, both the lipsticks, are in the kissing format, which is Charlotte Tilbury's very moisturizing comfortable wear line. And to finish the look, I am just setting my makeup with some powder. This is the MAC Studio Fix, and it is in the color NC30. And I'm just barely, very, very lightly, I just dusted some powder on my face to set all the creaminess. And for the highlighter, I'm using this color Soft and Gentle by MAC. This is a very subtle highlighter, and it's a very daytime friendly look. So that's why I'm not using a very harsh highlighter. This is a very, as the name suggests, it's soft and gentle. It's not on the face. It's perfect for daytime use, and you can build it up according to your taste. But today I'm going in for a very light wash of highlighter, because I don't want to look overly highlighty or glowy, because this is a day look. And that's what I am doing here, using a feathery, soft, fluffy brush. To do this helps you achieve a much more flawless application of any kind of a powder highlighter. If you're using a dense brush, it will look patchy and you will not like the effect. So always go for a fluffy brush to do your highlighting. Curled my lashes, and now I'm using this new mascara by Benefit. It is called Bounce, and this is not a waterproof mascara. None of my high-end mascaras are waterproof, because personally I don't like using waterproof mascaras. These are pretty long lasting, and I'm happy with using non-waterproof mascaras by high ends. I have Charlotte Tilbury, I have Benefit, I have MAC, and all of them are not waterproof, and I absolutely have zero problems with them. For to set my brows, I'm using this brow mascara by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I'm just brushing my brows with this tiny wand to keep my brow hairs in place. Um, since I used a pencil, I didn't use a brow wax to set them in. I'm going back to my brows and using this brow gel to brows set the brow hair in place, so that they are not looking unruly throughout the day, and they look groomed and well kept. So I'm doing the same on the other brow. Oopsies, I made a mistake there, but that's fine. I can just, once it dries off, I can just flick it off with a dry spoolie. And wherever you need some touch up, you can do that with a dry spoolie and setting the powderiness with MAC Fix Plus. And that's the finished look. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comment section if you're going to recreate this look. If you loved this look, what colors do you prefer wearing during summer season, during spring, summer? What are your color choices? What do you think about this lip combination? Let me know your thoughts, and also subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed watching this video. And I will love to see your comments, read them, and reply to as many as I can. And share it with your friends and family. And I will see you soon in my next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.